myself had the opportunity to go opposite way, and David Green, of course, chose the GRR. So I got to throw in a little bit. You might have to say
it's machinery of every single type, and of course, you concentrate. I mean, this is DKR much even from what happened in the first model. They had to just add we're just so fortunate, you know, competition happens on all managers, and now we're moving very swiftly, I mean, from one thing to another. When I introduced the 77, it didn't go anywhere fast. By 79, it took...
You know, the Duke has absolutely thrown his arm around Mad Mike and says, hey, drifting is, like I said, not just a side dish. Mad Mike, he brought this vehicle. He might be Total Car Produce, the turbo power plant under the hood. Bagsy always puts on a show. This gentleman is Trip Game and also Trip Master. Bagsy has been a staple. Outside of Mad Mike, he is poised over at Red Bull, but Bagsy has been competing. His game is then this all adaptation of more digestible for you, Rotary. I get it. Was an American, never four-time champion, and now he competes this at all times. I mean, this show.
Aston Martin trying to get Let's just have a V12. It sings and actually went remarkably competitive over the years. This is the car. You see his Nissan Skyline GTR. Also hard, Stout and then some.
It's stouter, right? So it's more stout, it's even more stout. Little shellac here and there, but he put the wide body on it, just threw on that Veltec suspension, so it's on turbo axle, after turbo. This is 3 rows on that lap. Now, so check him out. Again, turbo axle. What do you think of this? What is that car? Can you tell me? Destined for greatness, the XComp tire.
More and more outrageous, but if you had to put him in one that people would identify, it would be the 555 This is Martin Sparrow driving the Impreza.
Literally, he was like 40 meters above me.
He was one of those people, the top competitors have that inherent
John, and this is all electric, right? So I feel like it needs to have the download. We were talking about this before we went live. It's like, it needs to dial up because it's just buffering, right? And this is just really cool technology. You're seeing electric being introduced into drifting. How? You know, it's an on-off switch, so it's the adaptability. I mean, literally here at the arena multiple years ago, I rode an R32 that was EV,
And it really became a battle of, and it was the evolution of each model each year. This was the 6, but they kept on ramping it up and people trying to get the corresponding road. Jared has just been recently, and he actually scored his first World Championship victory. This was a driver legacy. Obviously, when they got the Impreza, it all got ramped up, so nothing.
WRC, so much so that the transfer in both video games. It's kind of like the Marlboro livery when they dropped the Marlboro and the 555, right?
With Colin on board, by going over. Treble 5 sponsorship, that must have been a dream. Colin McRae went next, they had success, took a while coming, but again, remember Goodwood? Sold a lot of Ford Focuses, but that certainly is for Colin McRae. It has to be blue in the yellow flag, it has to be a Subaru. They have been successful again. He ever had the grace to drive, but of course he had a very, very pure formula, and they had to put it around the early days, so he didn't use all his fuel on that. Eric hated it. He was a racer, but they had to learn how to make it work, and by golly they did. But the cars we have in the 124 now.
Alright guys, so we got our Porsche performance parking. We just got loads of GT3s, GT4s.
copy that. They'll change formation. 8 and 9 will move inwards, and they change the shape from swan to shuttle, reaching a height of just over 5,500 feet on 29 Squadron. The operational conversion unit at RAF being a lot more restrictive in the top of that loop before they come back down to around about 500 miles per hour, and Red One bring them around to the fully electric Renault 5, but it's rather lucky that they've got the new 5 Turbo 3E. Now this is this year Formula One is celebrating their 2024 Constructors Championship. We're looking set to do the double by the end of this year as well. Making its way off the...
Someone like Spa-Francorchamps sweeping through the sweepers, but good to see them anyway.
Yeah, and as we were saying again, we've got more Koenigsegg action. This, the CC 850 from Koenigsegg in all in white, making its way up the hill now.
Well, this is the one we saw at the start line, a tribute to the models from some while ago.
This is the F80.
This is historic. This is the first time in public, about once a decade since the 1980s with the F40. They go up another 10, the 50, the 60, the 70, but this really has design that harks back to my eye to sort of the 653, but it's far, far more than that, Harry, isn't it? In its camouflage, we can see it, you can see it, it's the Zenvo Aurora Tour, brand new, built in Denmark, more of everything than you could possibly require, but it's a great encompassment. It's going to have a gradual start, but again, we're being treated to these global debuts.
New here at the Festival of Speed, 6 litres naturally aspirated V12 with that long tail body, with the active aero, the splitter with the stabilising fin in the middle as well. Attached to the rear wing, it really is fully prepped to go racing. Race grade suspension, brakes and tyres. It's built really every year, so when you get to see what they've got on offer, it really is something rather special.
And I think one of the glorious things about Ferrari in the past decade or so is they have a very strong nod to their past. Large front engine cars, now down onto the start line. Let's have a look. The marshal stands in position, hands in front of the screen, indicating to the driver it's good to go.
Yeah, this is another new one from Ferrari, the 12 Cylindri, heading up the hill now, all in yellow in this supercar run. Marks 70 years of Ferrari in North America. Front engine 6.5 litre naturally aspirated V12. This is for Goodwood, hand in hand on the map globally this weekend, celebrating Ferrari's 80th anniversary, positioned as the successor to the LaFerrari 3-litre twin-turbo V6 with a hybrid system as well. It really is one of the most popular places here.
Yeah, particularly on the Thursday here at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. But what you never know with cars like this, like in the racing world, was this finished last night? You know, you always have a target, and that target is coming. It's in the diary. You cannot miss your and then build the supercar off that. And very, very dynamic. And quite a few drivers coming up through those. But I love the change of pace you get on the supercar run. Not in terms of speed of the car, but just the imagery, because we're suddenly going from Praga, which is extreme, to Bentley, which is luxury as well as performance.
Yeah, the Bentley Bacalar making its way up the hill in that beautiful Bentley green, pays homage to, of course, the racing years.
On circuits like the Nürburgring Nordschleife, they absolutely know what they're doing, and it looks fantastic, sounds fantastic, and you can't miss it in that bright red livery.
No, with that kit on board as well, enhanced brake components improve the cooling of the car, the feel of it, and the durability. Talk of running kits though, this is another Porsche 911G.
Rolls-Royce ever, and that's comes as no surprise when you see the pace with which it passes Goodwood House. It is an exquisite design, and you know what, in many ways it almost has echoes of their great cars from the 1950s as well, with that coupe body shape.
It certainly does. 23-inch black badge wheels.
Maybe more expensive, but maybe just that little quicker, and that is what it's all about, going faster.
That's the sound of a McLaren 765L.
You can see it's more of their slightly bigger versions of an MG waiting to launch itself off the start line, and we've got some exciting things coming up shortly from MG as well. And there you go, floors it.
Pagani, they stand time, they just build exquisite cars. This is about as extreme as it can get. The Huayra R Evo Roadster. It's long, it's low, but it's that.
With that first version, and there have been a whole bunch of them ever since, and we're seeing, I think it is 7, I think, of these 3 series over the years, going from, as I say, 1975 right
Way up the hill. This from 2023, Lamborghini's first HPEV with a new to the different kits on board can transform what you've got underneath you.
Yeah, I must say for what we like to call day-to-day use, pretty extravagant day-to-day use, but the touring package is very, very elegant indeed.
Naturally aspirated car making its way up. Right, we have this now. This is the Aston Martin Valkyrie making its way the hay bales. Again, another sleek, stealthy design. It's certainly a common trend for new supercars, having that kind of understated look, but with mean power right there.
Yeah, but also just those little trim lines on the bottom, just say, I'm something a little bit special. I'll tell you what, I think a lot of the real supercar fans need to just close their eyes and guess by the sound alone what
One car on the road as that makes its way across the line, setting off now, really laying down the rubber and the smoke. If you can see it through the smoke, you will see the Aston Martin DB12 Volant, which is making its way in a lovely, what are we calling that, maroon? Would you go with a maroon colour or a burgundy? Or
I prefer burgundy. Yeah, it makes me feel ready for lunch, but an exquisite shape, and over the decades of Aston Martin Volante body shape, there is no hanging around, and you certainly can't miss it in orange and grey.
No, this one is the 750S Coupe, again, with that papaya, I think we've got to call it, haven't we? The McLaren papaya colour, celebrating 2020 at the rear end of his car, 40 centimetre rear fan on the back of that, with the active aero as well, the central driving position too. Oh, the sound as it makes its way past the flip wall.
Just to explain the relevance of the fan, in 1978, the Brabham that Gordon Murray designed, he changed it. He put a fan on the back to suck the car down onto the ground. It was used once and once only for victory at the Swedish Grand Prix. The team
0.9 litre naturally aspirated V12.
And one of the hardest things to actually explain is just how narrow the hill is when you get to the top. You're sitting down low, the straw bales either side are up above your head, and you're going at pace, but nobody better than Dario Franchitti, Indy 500 winner, multiple champion across various championships, but also a development driver, so he knows this car better than anyone.
Of machinery, enjoying the sunshine. It heads further into this afternoon, and still a lot more coming your way as well for the day.
different vehicles. The A110 was redeveloped, and celebrating some 50 years now that it's been going.
Check out this 599.
Is that the honor?
Right, so as you can see the difference, we're at the first day at Goodwood Festival of Speed, going past the McLaren Formula 1 team. As you can see, they got the F1 GTR. Right, what's going down here? Oh, the older Formula 1 cars are heading out. It's manic, there's so many people here. It's the new launch of the McLaren W1. So I did try and see it yesterday, but I wasn't allowed to take videos or nothing. So we're gonna go up and check that out. So I believe they got the McLaren P1, the McLaren F1 and the McLaren W1 all together. So there is a big crowd around it, so I'll be sure to check that out now. I see it, guys. So we got the P1 and the new W1. So the brand new McLaren W1. So let me know in the comments, guys, if you can hear me, which car are you picking? The McLaren P1 or the McLaren W1? Or the McLaren F1? Don't even want to know how much that is, that whole collection. We got this Sesto Elemental, full carbon fiber. And the interior on one of these Sesto Elementals is one of the craziest interiors I've ever seen. But yeah, the carbon fiber all over on the body. Right, just started off. We've got the Veyron Super Sport. Carbon fibre on it. Look at the number plate, high sexy. So this is the second one. We've got a matte black one. Third one. By Tom Hartley. Right, so we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Bugattis. Veyrons. So let me know in the comments, guys, which spec Bugatti would you guys pick? Right, this is one car down here that I do want to see go up. It's the Midnight Black Subaru. We got it all down here. We got the i20 WRC car. We got Colin McRae's Ford Focus. Colin McRae's Subarus. Like, I can't wait to see some of these if they either go on the rally stage or up the hill. So we got Colin McRae's 1995 Subaru. We got his 1997, 1998, and then we got this. It's what he started out in, his flat out days. Subaru, this thing is just insane. Right, all the drift cars are coming out now. We've got them all heading out the Volvo.
Made for the racetrack. Yeah, and it shows
this car is built. No prizes for which car this late 1970s. And in that, in terms of the furniture, isn't it?
Day or night, and of course the Dakar and
series of synonymous with World Superbikes, but also Superbike racing. They've made beautiful race bikes, that we've ever seen. Manufactured down in Italy, V-twin before they moved to the V4. So
it's a very skinny tire too. We need a higher tread wear, steel boots. I'm watching this, and 2 wheels were down to 1 wheel. Is that what kind of budget we're dealing with right now?
That is exactly so, but it's good to know your creative juices are already flowing. You're already starting to work it out. And he was one of the drivers this afternoon. It's Hiroaki.
Monster trucks that they race in Formula 1 now. Big vehicles, but yeah, looking forward to them. Of course, last year he was celebrating Red Bull, but this year he's celebrating 75 years of Red Bull. And I think he's going to have about 100 more races. 89 world championships. It's incredible, really. Yeah, well, it is. It's been incredible 75 years as part of the build-up of the British Grand Prix. I got to drive the 150 Alpha.